Hello, hello, friends. Welcome in. Robert Imbriali here. And Lewis is a little MIA at the moment, but he's got his hands on something. He'll be here shortly. We've got the search party out looking for him. How you all doing today? Hope you're doing well. It's been an interesting day, and that video kind of sums up a lot of what's been going on. Yesterday, that news broke. So I want you to know where we are. Let me give you a quick little overview of where we are at the moment. Just going to put my mic up just a little bit because I think it's a little low. So where are we at the moment? Right at this moment, right now, where are we? Well, if you look at what's going on, right, they've been trying to derail Donald Trump since the beginning, right? Since he announced in 2016, became president, and I think it was 2015. Yeah, anyway, since he announced he was going to become president, they've been trying to derail him and get him out of there. They haven't stopped. They haven't stopped even when he's out of office. They kept doing it. They tried everything. They impeached him twice. You see the pattern, right? And they have been trying with lawfare to get him. And they went after all his attorneys, all his lawyers. So Christina Bobbs being one, she was arrested. John Eastman, same thing, indicted in Arizona, arrested, and his law license was revoked here in California. So he can no longer practice law. That's what he went to school for. That's what he trained for. And just because he questioned the 2020 election, now he can't practice anymore. Same with Rudy Giuliani, right? You go down the list, Trump's inner circle, they're picking them off, quote unquote, one by one. Somebody said, well, why doesn't Trump have better lawyers? Well, what lawyer is going to step up into that situation? Knowing that the attacks that'll come, knowing they could lose their law license, knowing they could be indicted or arrested or both. So a lot of them don't step up. So he's got who he's got, but they're picking them off one after another, or they're trying to. Because what? The cases against Donald Trump are falling apart, one after another. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We've got to pay attention here, right? So what's the process? The process is, well, we tried this, we tried that, we tried the lawfare, we tried everything he tried. It didn't work. He's still on path, and he's still having huge rallies. He's the most popular president in American history, by far. We all know that. So what's next? It's a tough question to answer, but I'm going to say expect the unexpected. We're going to talk about one of the unexpecteds here today, too, because things are happening on the Republican side that you're probably not going to like. I didn't like it when I heard them. So I'm looking at this and going, oh, this isn't good. We need to change this. This isn't the way we want the Republican Party to be acting and the things that they're doing. A lot of them are anti-Trump, believe it or not. Why? Because they're establishment. Trump is anti-establishment. Let's change it. Let's not go the same way we've been going. Let's change. Let's go do something else. They're not happy about that. All right. Before we get rocking into more stories here, I want to remind you to go over to screwbiggov.com. That's where you're going to keep up with Lewis and all the things that he's got going on. And we've got some plans, so we're going to change things up a little bit on our show here. We're working on some things in the background, and we'll be sort of unveiling that over the next couple of weeks. But you want to keep up with him and find out what he's up to. Screwbiggov.com is his website, and you can find information there about all the movies that he's done, the documentaries. You can find out, watch Cages there, the link directly to it. And also swag. He's got a lot of swag there. Why not update your t-shirts for the summer, right? Get a couple more t-shirts for you, your friends, especially your liberal friends. I'm being facetious. Have some fun with that. And also the social media button there is how you keep up with him on social media, and you will find me on social media if you go over to Telegram, which you should be a part of. I'm going to be putting a lot of cool stuff up there. And you'll find me at Renegade Media on Telegram, or you can email me, robert@renegademedia.tv. And that's where you'll find me answering your emails, and you can reach me directly. Because everyone says, oh, you're on the air, you're a big shot. Not a big shot. I really do answer my emails. I really like to stay in touch with everyone. So robert@renegademedia.tv. And if you're in the Telegram chat room, right, the Telegram, any post that's there you can comment on, That brings you into the Telegram chat. You can join that, and you could post your stuff as well. It's nice to have a vibrant conversation. It's nice to have you guys sharing as well. Buckshot, thank you for all the stuff that you post in there. I really appreciate that. And keep it coming. Really do enjoy it. All right. First story on the docket today, and yes, I am looking to see if Lewis has popped in. He has not popped in yet. He's in our back, not in our back office, so busy man today. This fellow, he's got to run into some problems here. People tend to know when the writing's on the wall that things aren't looking too good, right? So for Mike Johnson, what happened? Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene tabled a motion for him to vacate the seat. In other words, to have him removed as Speaker of the House. Why? Because he's doing the bidding for Democrats, and the Democrats love him. They're going to do everything they can to protect him because he's doing everything they want. He's not our guy. We knew that going in. He's not our guy, which is really weird because every Republican voted for him. Across the board, every single one voted for him. Interesting. Well, here's the challenge now. He's got some problems on his hands. He's got 3 leading members of Speaker Mike Johnson's policy team are leaving his office by the end of May. Kind of unexpected. 3 leaving already? Robbing the House's top Republican of a critical core of experienced aides. In other words, he's going to be flying solo very soon. Britton Speck, Jason Jaworski, and Preston Hill, all of whom also work for former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Guess where they're going? They're heading to Michael Best Strategies, a lobbying firm with offices in D.C. and around the country. So they're leaving his office because they kind of see the writing on the wall and they go, this guy's not long for this job. Maybe they see that after November, he's gone. Maybe he's gone before. We don't really know, right? That's really the way you want to look at it. You don't know how long it's going to last. These guys are thinking about their career and saying, I'm not going down with the ship. I'm going to take care of me. So they're jumping ship the end of May, which is 2 weeks from now. They'll be out of there. So he'll be left with, a lot less of his core team. Then a little bit later, there was an update to this story. Now a 4th member has decided to bail. Rod Shaw, Speaker Johnson's Deputy Chief of Staff for Communications, is leaving the Speaker's office soon. Multiple sources told Breitbart News. It was confirmed by Axios Tuesday night after Breitbart News alerted Johnson's office of the imminent story. So just to give you an idea, he's in a little bit of trouble, this man. And people know it. And that's what, how do you operate an office if, your staffers are leaving you? That's kind of hard to do. All right. I see Mr. Herms is popping in. Let's just get him set up here real quickly. And 360, I want 720. All right. When he gets back, I will bring him in. But for now, let's continue on our journey. So Mike Johnson, I think he's toast. It's just a matter of time. Thank you guys for not supporting him. Thank you all for being alert, being awake to the guy who is our Speaker of the House, who's not on our side. Clearly not on our side. So looks like he's going to be folding. Well, people are leaving him anyway, so we'll see what happens. Will he replace them? I don't know. What does he have left in his term? Only, until the end of January. I think they would have the new term. So interesting. Anyway, I see my buddy in the back here. Oh, I like that blue shirt. Lewis, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing today?
I've been just busy doing stuff and kind of got stuck, but it's all good. It's all really, really good, to be honest with you. Yep. Yeah. And I'm glad you're doing the news because I don't have a clue what's going on there out there.
Well, you actually did have a clue about the Mike Johnson thing, about 3 of his staffers leaving. Now 4 of his staffers are leaving. There's another one that's bailing. So interesting.
Mike Johnson, the guy that got 100% votes to get in as Speaker of the House. There's not a red flag there.
We knew it the day it came up. We said there's no way. It's all these people voted for him. It doesn't make any sense.
It is. There's only one of 2 ways this can go. Is every single Republican is a deep state Republican, or there is a bigger plan and they were all told you need to vote 100% for this guy.
Yeah.
And then that will put them, shed the light on them, expose them, so on and so forth, and then we're going to go from there. Not quite sure which one it is. Here at SBG News and Views with Rob, we're in Braille. We do not pretend to know what we do not know. I know there's a lot of people say 100% it's a show or 100% it's deep state. Well, I'm sure glad they get that type of inside information because we do not get it here. We just try to use our brains and our discernment, and I work for we the peeps.
There are a lot of people in our viewing audience who send us stuff all day long. And a lot of them believe some of the things that they send to be true. And we've debunked them on this show weeks ago, weeks earlier, or whatever. And you see that over and over again. And I don't blame them. I'm not angry or not upset about any of that. It's just the truth is it's hard to keep up with it all. And there's so much disinformation among the good stuff. And you got to poke through all of it to find the gems here and there. So it's not an easy task. And I think a lot of people, even us, we get tripped up every once in a while. We'll report something. And then, 2-3 days later, we realize, oh, crap, it's not true. Let's go back.
Yeah, we are certainly not immune to it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's hard. And plus, folks, we understand if you want something bad enough, you start to see something that doesn't exist. So we just have to be very aware of that.
Yep. Very true. Yeah. San Diego, Lewis, is the new hotspot for the border. Did you know that?
Well, we knew it was going to move from Texas, right?
Yep.
In fact, there's teams in Arizona that was planning for it to move to Texas. I've been hearing it's a lot was going to happen and did happen in New Mexico, but because of the government structure there, they can't even get out there to report it, that's a scary thing in itself.
Red flag, yeah. And
then, of course, we already knew, we assumed because of the way they were trying to shut down Texas, that it's always a path. It's like water. It's going to take the path of least resistance, right? So it would definitely matriculate to California. Because they're also starting to do some lockdowns in Arizona, not the government, but there's teams down there trying to work on stuff too. So path of least resistance, New Mexico and California is where it's going to be at.
So here's a little report from Fox News from, is it Jacumba or Jacumba? I don't know how you pronounce that Spanish word. And here's a type of people that are coming across this border. Interesting, huh?
Well, I think it's interesting that I've been reporting on this for over a year, been down at the border, showed with my own camera, my own interviews, that these are fighting age men, mainly all men. Barely any of them are from Mexico, right? And we don't know what their intentions are. We can only assume. Yet Fox News is now reporting this as this is big deal.
I think what they're getting at, Lewis, is it's a big deal because now it's in California. Before it was sort of Texas, Arizona, but it seems like now it has moved over to San Diego.
Well, Fox News is a national network,
right?
So why is it suddenly a big deal?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's suddenly a big deal because they're getting pressured for it to be a big deal. We have to understand that all these networks are controlled. They're all completely controlled. So the question should be, with their resources, why haven't they been on the border the last 2 years when we have zero resources and we've been on the border? Right, zero. And we've been on the border. In fact, it cost us money to go to the border. So why is that? That's because they've been part of the cover-up the whole time. So maybe they're part of the plan to finally release the information. I will say I'm very shocked in a good way, in a very positive way, that during that report, they used the words illegal immigrants, not migrants. That's a sea change if the media continues to use that type of language. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. There's also a report that the illegals believe that Trump is going to win in November. So the New York Post is reporting that migrants, Donald Trump will shut the border. His two brothers from Colombia who had crossed into the U.S. and had eventually been put on a flight to New Jersey stated, "We think with the elections it will be harder," adding, "We don't want Trump. So probably that's behind right now the surge that we're seeing at the border.
Yeah, well, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Then, and I think closer to the election, if we have one, whether we do or not, I would think the surge. I think you're going to end up seeing like 100,000 a day start coming over in droves where it's going to be unstoppable. So very interesting. The good news is that the Democrats won't be able to get them identification fast enough for them to vote. That's the only thing. They'll try though. I'm sure they'll probably have printers right there on the border.
Yeah, aren't they registering them as soon as they come in? As soon as they quote unquote they process them, aren't they getting them to sign up for?
Well, I don't want to report that to be true.
Yeah.
That's the conspiracy that we've heard. All I know is they are processing them, and then they have an opportunity to register within certain states. So what they're doing is they're processing them nationally, right? And there's a loophole in the law that's found where you can, I believe you can vote. You can vote with a national ID, not a local ID? It's something like that. I reported on this, but I forgot what it was. But it's so we'd have to dig into that more. If I can't say yes at this moment.
Well, it was in North Carolina. That was the one where they actually showed the form that they got, and they were able to fill it out. And remember, they just want the name on the voter roll. They don't really care if they vote or not because they're going to sign a vote to the name. That's the way that works.
Right.
And then North Carolina came back and passed the law and said, "Oh, you can't do that." And I think some judge put a hold on that, put a stay on that order, and I think it's back in play again. So it's whack-a-mole, really, in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
right?
Ironically, the stay is lifted November 6th.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one day after it's needed. We've got enough votes. We're good. Oh, yeah. Brother. All right. So you and I were out and about yesterday.
We were out and about yesterday.
What did you see when you got home from this puppy?
I saw a lot of love.
Oh, cool. Cool.
I was just telling it this morning while we were eating breakfast. He was hanging out with us. That one particular, and it said he's only 3 now, but he's the most trained dog you can imagine. Now I'm not talking like doing tricks trained. It's just like, here, come here, go over there, go to the car, jump into the car. Lay down. Okay, back off because he's very friendly. And you're like, come on, back off. Sit, lay down there. Like every command, he's like, nope, no problem. Boop, 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 boop. And we're like amazed because we've had dogs for years, right? And we've had well-trained dogs. But this one, virtually every command you give him, he's just like, and he's sometimes though, he gets upset, and I call it the parumph. Because what he does is if you're like, hey, Reggie, stop, he'll go, and he'll flap down and he'll put his face on the ground with his sad face, like I'm in trouble, like he's in timeout or something. It's hilarious. But look how beautiful that coat is, by the way.
It's all about the food, right? It's just amazing how much of a difference it makes when they're fed correctly. I did the kibble test with the kibble we're feeding our cat, and Kristen had mentioned this on our show on Friday. She said if you want to know if the kibble's any good, if you put it in water and let it soak, if it expands, it's full of fillers and things like that. So I put out the kibble we feed our cat in water and left it in there for more than an hour, and it didn't expand at all. I'm like, yes, we got good stuff. So it's always good to see that you can test it. But yeah, feeding them the right nutrition really makes a big difference. It gives them a lot of energy, gives them that youngness in their step again. It's kind of interesting to see how quickly so many have been saying, my dog, my cat, and I see it in the chat room a lot. It's like my cat, my dog, I can't live without it. It's amazing stuff. So Pet Club 24/7, if you want to find out more about the food, the description is in the link is in the description. I'm being a little dyslexic. The link's in the description below, and you'll find it on whichever channel you're watching on. There's a link there. You got to try this. Give it 30 days. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee. You're not enrolled in auto ship unless you want to be. There's nothing really to join. You could just go and be a retail customer and try the food. Give it to your pet for 30 days. See what happens. If you have a cat, a dog, or a horse, or even you personally, they have stuff for humans as well. So
They do. Let's not run off of the stuff for humans really quick. So unfortunately, a client of my wife today was diagnosed with the C word, right? So I'm if she's open to it, I'm going to have my wife recommend. There's a certain product when you go to if you go to the pets and you'll see the link below, Pet Club 24/7 and the link below. If you click on human, I believe it's the first product there. And I can't say it out loud, but the results that they've had in actual testing on the C word will blow your freaking mind.
Love it.
In fact, let me see if I'm trying to find it real quick here. In real time. Let's see here. And my internet's slow right now, so that's right.
Lewis, you're streaming video. Of course your internet's going to be slow.
Yeah, not usually. I usually have really fast internet.
Yeah.
Oh, here it goes. It's because it didn't want the S in your URL. All right, so I hit shop and I'm going to humans. Yes, it is. It's the first. It's the first two. So actually, I think the first three. All of those are phenomenal, but I know for sure the first two. So if anybody has the C word, you may want to look into the mushrooms.
There we go.
That are supplied right there.
Yep.
What's up, boys?
Hey, Matt, we're live right now. We're going to put you on mute for a second.
Sure.
Yeah. One more story, and then we're going to bring on our buddy Matt Geiger because he's here in the back room. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. There's a story by, I know you don't really like this woman. I get it. Laura Loomer. Can I play a Laura Loomer video on our show? You okay?
Nikki Haley.
So that broke this morning. That was kind of interesting that they will try everything. The Republicans will try everything to not have Trump actually be the nominee for the Republican Party. So there's we talked about this, Lewis, way back when Nikki Haley didn't end her campaign, although she only won, I think, one primary, and that was because they voted with toothpicks and she got the most toothpicks, or something like that. It's really crazy. But she didn't end it. Why did she end it? She was still fundraising. And I said, you know what they're doing? They're keeping her in the media. They're propping her up because she's option B. She's plan B.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's where I disagree. I think she's plan A. I don't think Trump's even part of the plan in regards to the public Republican Party and the GOP as we know it. I think they pretend to support him, and what's really going on is they're trying to figure out how they can circumvent him. And so what they can do, if they pretend to support him, a lot of them for a while, then they can, that's controlled opposition, right? 101 right there. Then they'll bring them over if they can somehow get Trump out of there or pull some shenanigans at the last second. It's not going to work, right? But you cannot trust Republicans, just like you can't trust Democrats. And until we, the people, get our heads out of our proverbial butts on this, right, we're going to keep making the same mistake over and over. Just because they put an R next to it, their name means nothing.
Correct.
Zero.
Yep.
What are the fruits of their labor? Are they doing what they say, or are they just trying to get your vote, right? So I do believe that they would try this. I do not believe it's going to be successful. Trump is, in my opinion, the most popular political entity in the history of the world. And it doesn't matter if you guys like him or not. That's where it's at right now. Can you imagine the uprising if they try to pull something like this?
The fact that they're even talking about it, though, is concerning. I agree with you. I don't think they'd be able to pull it off, but just, the fact that they're there, then you go, okay, we don't have a unified party no matter what, right? Because it's split.
I hope we don't.
Yeah.
This is where Trump and I disagree. This is where we part ways. But I think he's doing it for optics, right? I don't think we don't need a Republican Party that's unified. We don't need a Democratic Party. We don't need parties. That's what got us in this mess in the first place. That's Freemason rhetoric 101, to create division. Create the R and the D, the blue, the red, and let's always keep us divided, right? That's why a Mike Johnson, which is a deep state operative, can get 100% of the Republican votes for Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
Right? It's because the division is already created. I believe Trump is playing that Republican game to get rid of the Democratic Party. And then I believe from internally.
That's just always been my stance. I just don't see, you have machines, right? The D machines, the dominoes machines, right? Let's call them that. You have those, you have the early voting, you have Chris Jersky, who found Red Belly Road, right? That whole thing where they're changing it at the Census Bureau. You might have an election at some point, but I think, I don't see anything happening on the 5th, on November 5th. That's just my opinion. What do I know?
Well, then you and I know nothing because we are both on the same page.
No, we're all three of us on the same page. It's how, if you ask the question very simply, how do we get there from here with everything that's going on? I don't see a path forward at all. I always look for that. Where's the path forward? Even if it's a zigzag, how do we get there? And I'm not seeing it.
From chaos.
I think here's the hint. Here's the clue that I believe everybody's missing. And I'm not saying I'm getting it because I'm smarter than everybody. Maybe I just stumbled on it. But I think this is the clue that everybody's missing. President Trump several times have said, quote, we have to do things legally and lawfully.
Yes.
So what he's indicating, in my opinion, and I know nobody talks about this, this is my opinion. What he's indicating is we're going to go through the corporate legalities that everybody knows, the corporate structure since the manipulation of the Constitution since 1871, 1913, 1930, 1933, yada, 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 Patriot Act, all the way through. We're gonna play that game at the same time we're dismantling the system from the inside and rebuilding it lawfully.
Agreed.
I believe that's what's going on. And that's why it's so confusing for people because and this is why a lot of the nationalists, the common law people get frustrated with me because I believe you have to work not just common law and definitely not in our corporate structure. You have to have one foot in both in order to move us to where we need to be. That jump over that chasm from our corporate structure to common law structure is nearly impossible. I think we have to build a bridge there and walk over, get people slowly acclimated to the common law section. And I believe that's what President Trump's been saying this whole time, and people just aren't catching on to it.
He's also made mention many times.
I'm sorry, what was that, Matt?
Do you know Cal Washington?
I don't.
Up in Vancouver?
No.
Great guy. I just found him the other day, had him on the podcast. Phenomenal, but that's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. We're gonna have to play in their little legal system first, right? And then start bringing people into the common law system. That's exactly what he said. And I think Cal Washington is a brilliant mind.
Good. So I would like to talk to him. I'm glad that there's somebody else with that thought process. That's amazing.
We'll have to have him on the show for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Put you in touch.
Yeah, I've heard Trump say more than
here.
What's that?
I'm always getting drunk on the show.
I've heard Trump say more than once.
Satire, everybody, satire. Don't come at me.
Don't come. They already are in the chat room. They're fast. They get in there quickly.
They're jokes.
All right. AOC says the quiet part out loud. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
She's an actress.
She's an actress.
I think she's an actress on the right side, too.
Oh, the drama. Did you see the drama in her face? It was like, yes. Whoa, yeah, yes. That's an actress.
Yes. She's doing great.
Yep.
She's doing great. Keep up the good work, AOC.
Yeah. The equivalent of an electronic ankle bracelet, these court cases are. In many ways, I think that's exactly the way to put it, right? That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, well, that's what she nailed it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what, like you said, she said the loud part out loud. similar to Netanyahu. I hope we get into that today. But she absolutely did. But I think Matt and I talked about this before. We believe she is an actress, but she's an actress for the good guys, and she's playing the bad guy part to expose how crazy it is and how easy it is for them to get followers with these false messages. That's the part that just blows me away.
Oh, that day's going to come where it's all going to be laid out for us, and we're all going to laugh at it, right?
I think it's her, Michael Cohen. I think Michael Cohen's definitely on the team, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. To play that recording in court, I mean, how could it not be? How could it not?
Exactly.
Because you have to give the deep state credit. The deep state's never been stupid. They're always very intelligent. So for them to say some of these things and do some of the things that they're doing, just like you're saying, Matt, that's got to be calculated from the good side, because there's just no way that they're that dumb. They're just not that dumb.
You have to do it. I would think you would have to do it in order to change hearts and minds, where people, even people that would support AOC, at a certain point just realize that this is absurd.
Right.
Like her, what did she do? Those cooking videos, right? She did those cooking videos at home. Like, this is where I think this is what Q means by enjoy the show.
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
Not sitting back and doing nothing, because we all have to. I just had, Noelle, right, Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just here. We just did an episode. I just had lunch with her. I mean, what Noelle is doing is incredible stuff. Her, that whole crew, I mean, they're going down to the Board of Supervisors meetings here, right? Maricorruption County, Maricopa.
Maricorruption County, exactly.
Maricorruption County, that's Swinnick's term. But I mean, this is the stuff that people need to start doing.
Yeah.
And that's where we can't sit back and just enjoy the show. But I think there's a select few people out there that just found the calling. They're doing what needs to be done. I mean, this is so incredible. Some of the people we meet. We're doing an event in Yuma again, by the way. I'll tell you right now. I know we're going to be. You didn't announce anything yet, did you?
Nope.
Lewis? Okay. But I'm
not until I get the thumbs up.
Okay. October 19th, Yuma, Arizona. It's a Take Our Border Back event.
Oh, that's too bad, because October 19th I'll be someplace else if everything works out.
But not too far away. Just
it's going to be a massive event though, so that may be an issue.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Take Our Border Back, where we met. They're thinking of doing something, so I'm just letting you know.
Cool.
Fun. Matt, do you want to jump in and give us a little update? We've seen gold and silver hit all-time highs in the past week or so, and give us a feel for what's going on in that world.
I mean, I'm so skeptical on prices, because it's like, sure, I could sit here as the gold guy and the silver guy and be like, oh, gold's higher than ever, and silver, silver's not higher than it. Silver hit 47 in 2011,
right?
Which is still a low number in my view. I just think, I stand by what I always say. I think it's about your ability to get it. I think it's about, it's not about the price. I mean, sure, if you bought gold at 2,000 versus 2,500 where it is now, sure, you could have gotten more gold. Okay, fair enough. But what my whole fear is that, what's great about your audience is awake. They understand what's going on. They understand that nothing's what it seems. A lot of the believe it or not, a lot of the multi-millionaire people, they think everything's fine, because they're, if you have a 8% dividend paying stock, you got a $10 million stock portfolio paying 8% a year. That's $800,000 a year you get no matter what the market does, right? Once these people get a whiff, just a small whiff of what's going on, that money comes off the sidelines and it dries up supply. It dries up in your ability to get it. I don't even know if I'd be around, right? What am I going to do? How am I going to sell gold and silver if there's no supply, right? I got to send you the physical stuff. So in my view, I wouldn't be discouraged like, silver went up to 32 and gold's at 2,500. I missed the boat. It's like, no, you could see the price. You could see the prices just as easily swing down. They might even drop the price, in my view, in order to get the weak hands out. Where people say, "Oh my gosh, I'm losing all my money. Gold's $1,000. I bought it at 2,500." Just hang in there. It's not about the price. It's about your ability to get it. Again, what have we always said on the show is it's a bridge. It's a way to get your money from this system to the new one. Everything's going to be repriced. In my view, as we've discussed before, I think a movie ticket's going to be 25 cents. Right? That's what I think. I think your grocery bill every week is going to be $20. $20. Get, $25 if you like filet mignon as opposed to, sirloin. I just tell people it's your ability to get it. I think that's the urgency in all of this. It's not the price. I wouldn't worry about, gold's up or silver's up. Who cares? Get your hands on the stuff. Get your money out of these digital ledgers, which are a bunch of nonsense. The banks don't have your money. If everybody went to the bank, think about it like this: if everybody went to the bank right now, okay, the banks would go out of business. That's the point. So it's like you have the mainstream media running cover for these fools. Just get it out, right? Get into a tangible asset and live to fight another day. When Trump comes back, in whatever shape or form he comes back, maybe it's not even president, right? Maybe he comes back as a 5-star general. A lot of people have never thought about that angle. We haven't had a 5-star general in 50 years? A 5-star general is actually higher ranking than the president. And what are the rumors about Trump? There's some rumors about Trump and General Patton, right? So I think there's a lot more to this that I don't even fully understand. I don't pretend to understand it. I'm just like your viewers. Like, I don't get it. I don't fully understand it. But I know tangible assets are a great place to be right now. Cryptos, maybe ride some cryptos for a little bit, right? If you listen to Juan and some of these people, Bitcoin's created by DARPA, but what's to prevent them from creating Bitcoin 2 and Bitcoin 3 and Bitcoin 4? It's just blockchain. It's like everyday technology. Why is it worth 70,000 a coin? It's not. It's not. What I always tell people is follow the Constitution and get into constitutional money. That's gold, silver, American Eagles. That's what I sell here. I try to veer people away from bars. You pay a little bit more for them, and I'm not pocketing the difference. It's just they cost a little bit more. It's just the nature of how this works. But yeah, I would start thinking about getting your money out of these banks.
Well, one thing that I see that's in common, which is very interesting, is right now you have all the BRICS companies, you have all the patriots, and the deep state all trying to pull away from the dollar. The deep state, if you look at most corporations, they're starting to say, we don't take cash. We're only going to take cards, right? And then they're trying to flip us into the bad digital currency, which we know there's one of those that are out there. And then BRICS is running away from the dollar. And anybody that's a patriot are like, I'm running away from the dollar. That doesn't bode well for our paper fake money, right? No. It does bode well for a mineral-rich economy, like with gold, silver, and oil, even natural gas in the future. That's what it bodes well for. So it's very interesting. The writing's on the wall, if it's ever been. Whatever you do, find a way to get away from the fiat dollar.
The way I tell people is it's like you have to have money to operate in the fiat system, right? So keep money in the bank. Do what you got to do. But if the banks went down tomorrow, sure, would I be pissed that I lost money in the bank? Absolutely. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Diversification and investments. Think about diversification in your money. Pick up a little crypto.
Yeah.
I'm not a crypto guy. I'm no guru. I hardly even understand a lot of this stuff, but I understand it's a place to park some money. I got a position there, but put a nice fat position in the precious metals, gold, silver, right? Who knows what platinum's going to do? Who knows what palladium's going to do? I think you want to stick to the monetary metals. I think that's probably the place to go. It's in the Constitution. Again, I think the solution to everything's in the Constitution, and then we update the Constitution to modern day terms. Simple as that.
Very cool.
MidasGoldGroup.com. Matt, what's the phone number there?
You can reach me directly. I'm at 480-725-0536. Make sure to mention these two guys. I got a stack of George magazines on my desk, old and new. I'd like to do some more giveaways, not just silver. We got some silver there. Let's give out some old George magazines. Who wants a Cindy Crawford?
Oh, fantastic.
She's not trans, right?
I hope not. She looks trans in the photo. But did you hear, I don't know if you caught it, just to your audience, because I know a lot of them follow the George stuff, but if you watch Rachel Rightside, you know Rachel?
Rightside?
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine. She did an interview with Juan the other day, and it was actually Trump that suggested the title of George magazine.
Oh, interesting. Didn't know that. That's very cool.
Very cool. So go to her channel and check her out, because she's, Rachel's one of a kind.
And you know that Barron Trump is Q, right? I'm just going to seed the public on that one.
Oh yes, I see you doing that.
I did get I did buy a Ingersoll Trump stopwatch. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, you showed me. I was jealous. Did you
Kind
get
of
it?
cool. And what's cool is one of my clients. He's actually he's a disabled vet. He used to work on cars, and what he does now is he works on watches. He works on stopwatches. So I called him up. I said, Sam, I'm like, I got an Ingersoll Trump watch, another one. I sent him one, and he fixed it up. I told him to keep it. I said, I got another one. I want you to fix it up. So I just sent him, a couple of cool collectible pieces, and he's happy to do it. He loves it, and he's a good friend of mine. Yeah, he's gonna fix it up, and when it's all done, I'll bring it on the podcast and show everyone.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Patriots, love the Patriots.
Indeed, absolutely. Matt, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you. Appreciate all you're doing. Appreciate your support of the show. It helps certainly keep the lights on around here. We do appreciate it. And we'll have you back probably next week or so. Sounds great. Well, I'll be in Hawaii next week. So okay. We'll do a broadcast from the beach. Hey, why don't we do a broadcast from the beach? That would be cool. We should. Yeah. We absolutely should. I was actually going to tell you guys, but I did like a little bungalow on the beaches. I'm going to Oahu. Last time I went there last year, I stayed at Trump International Hotel. And this time I was like, let me go on the beach. So we should do that. That'd be a lot of fun. That would be. Yeah. Well, let's plan on it.
Very cool.
Cool. Great.
And we'll talk soon because I need to get that thumbs up to move forward.
Yeah. Let me know. And I got your back.
All right.
Bye. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye. All right. Wow. Good stuff. Hey, are you a fast food guy?
If I have to be honest, it's a yes and a no. So
that's a yo.
Yeah, it's a yo. So I never was, and then when I was doing plumbing, I was a troubleshooter. So I was busy. Sometimes my longest shift was 40 hours straight with no sleep.
Wow.
Because I had to go to one place to another, and then I started to have to get into. I wasn't good at preparing myself, so I started eating some fast food when I was out, and I tried to pretend like I was healthy, right? I would never eat at the one with the M. Even back then, I knew better, right? And then I got away from it, and then back on the troop tour, I started to do it a little bit more. So now it's rare, when we would go to one of those places, but I do indulge every once in a while. To be honest. In fact, I just found one yesterday that's a health food place. Well, I didn't find it. I've known about it for years and loved it. I kind of just showed it to my wife yesterday, and that was a really cool place. But it was fast food, but health food. Healthy fast food, if there is such a thing. Yeah, well, they're farm to table daily, so it's about as good as you can get. So according to an article in Breitbart, what's going on in the fast food industry is sort of fascinating in a kind of weird way. Fast food costs are soaring. People, is that such a bad thing? But in the same thing is I reported here during Truth Tour 2, and I know a lot of people think I'm a wackadoodle, and that's fine. I probably am a wackadoodle. I found that it seemed like the quality of food in the fast food places have changed completely, which was weird to me because like the chicken seemed like real chicken all of a sudden. You know what I mean? The burgers tasted a lot better. The vegetables tasted better and looked better. And I was like, okay. And so I started, myself and my team, we really were looking at it when we were on the truth tours and going, is this possible? If it's possible, and this isn't if, this is pure speculation on my part, maybe that's one of the first things the good guys took out is some of the bad food. And it would actually make sense that they would do that if we were getting majorly poisoned from the fast food restaurants. And if you remember all the chicken farms that went burned down and so on and so forth. By the way, I have no evidence on this whatsoever. This is more of a curiosity, but many of us saw a complete change in the quality at these places, and that was just very odd to us. So maybe part of this could be if you're not manufacturing crap, like you're actually having real chicken, real vegetables, it would be more expensive too. So maybe it's in combined with Bidenomics, which is screwing everything up.
Well, here in California, they bumped the minimum wage to $20 an hour for anybody in the fast food industry. So that's going to bump the prices up.
Oh, within a week, by the way.
Yeah.
Within a week, every single fast food place raised their prices.
Yep.
Within a week. And what's the common sense of that? Anybody can figure that out? So in California, if you work in fast food, you get minimum $20 an hour. But you can work down the street at an electronics store, photography store, dry cleaner, whatever it is, and you're making $16 an hour. So that's weird, by the way. That's so weird. Mm-hmm. So my prediction would be you're going to start to see, which sounds really funny, an increase in the quality of service at fast food places because people are going to matriculate to the higher, they're going to have a larger pool to pull from. So now you can get the best of the best, and you're going to see a decrease in your chains, your Targets, your Walmarts, like it could even get worse. But you're going to see a decrease in that, the Best Buys and all these other big businesses and small businesses where they're minimum. So they're going to either have to increase to get back into the same pool as the fast food, right, to be competitive in the job market. That'd be very interesting to watch. How weird would that be is if your customer service in virtually every service industry goes down and it increases and becomes good in the fast food. That's just a prediction based on general economics. You know what I mean? This is the direction it would have to happen within a year.
Well, the other piece is that you're seeing Starbucks and other fast food joints having fewer employees and moving more to kiosks as well. So those jobs, while they may be paying more, may be a little bit harder to get because there's going to be fewer of them going forward. You know?
Yeah, and this may also force with this because you have to remember we're in a cabal state,
right?
In California, this may force the fast food into automated service. So it just may be another trick where everybody go, oh, look at we make more money. Where actually they'll completely robotize everything, and you'll be dealing with AI to serve and make your food. I could see that being another fallout from this.
You know, they have a McDonald's that's already that's fully automated. Fully automated.
Oh, really?
They have one guy looking over the machinery, but everything, your burgers, you come to the kiosk, you type in what you want, the machines cook it, they put it in a bag, and you pick it up on the other end. There's no employees, you know. So we're not far from that being a reality.
No, I don't think we are.
Yeah. I don't know what the quality of that food would be, but hey, you know. So there's another angle to this that is sort of interesting with the fast food prices rising as quickly as they have, and the average is 80%. The overall average prices have gone up about 80%. And who does it hurt the most? It hurts the poor.
Of course.
Right. And they're the ones that sometimes rely on McDonald's to feed the family because they don't have enough money to go to a better restaurant or buy better quality groceries, that kind of thing. So they're getting priced out of this market.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Not that this is a good idea to feed your family McDonald's 5 nights a week, but hey, you know, if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. You got to do something, right?
Yeah, there were families pre-2020, like full families, that all they would eat is fast food because, you know, Jack in the Box used to have 2 tacos for 99 cents, and they wouldn't get the soft drinks because they couldn't afford them, ironically, if that sounds really interesting. So, you know, people would go in and wholesale. They'd have Taco Tuesdays at Taco Bell, and McDonald's would have their 39-cent days and all this stuff, which unfortunately that's just a way to mass poison the public. But the impoverished were relying on that at the time. So, you know, maybe this pushes them back into making food at home. But, you know, money is tight for a lot of people, Okay,
this is a great conversation. Glad you brought that up. We're out and about yesterday, right? And I'm looking around and I'm seeing a lot of new cars, seeing a lot of traffic on the road. I'm seeing the restaurant we went to was full. The parking lot was full. Happy hour was bustling. Haven't seen that in a while there, by the way. That it's normally not that busy at that hour. But the parking lot was full. There were no spots in it. So I asked Phoebe, I said, could it be that we're the ones who are trying to promote a narrative, our side is trying to promote a narrative that the economy is bad. Maybe it's not quite as bad as the narrative would make it seem. Just a question.
No, 100% injuries and so on and so forth, right? That went through the roof. And these so-called middle-class employees suddenly became middle upper class. And they are doing phenomenal still. But all the middles that were not involved in anything related to the health industry or any economics that would benefit them because of the health industry, they literally got their asses kicked, and now they're below the line.
Yeah. So
and I believe so I believe that split and the influx in money has been extremely high, but I believe it's going to wear out unless they can create another disease X and try to play this game once again. So I believe that's why my predictions in 2022, September, October, of the economy just completely crashing. I was reading historical markers from the past, and it was a no-brainer. I'm like, oh, every single time this happens, the real estate market crashes, the stock market and everything crashes around it. It didn't happen this time. Well, the reason why is after further investigation, finding out why I was wrong, because I was open. I'm like, I'm wrong. It was, to me, it's unequivocally because of the influx, which a lot of that was just printed by the United States government, by the way.
It doesn't exist, exactly. Yep.
It doesn't, it's fake. It's fake and fraudulent. So that will fall apart, and then we'll see, maybe we'll come back to a balance, everybody on an even playing field. So I don't think it's a fake narrative. I think the playing field is shifted drastically like it's never done in the history of the world. But it's false. It's because there was false money injected into the healthcare system.
And it's not just the healthcare; it's also the companies feeding into the healthcare system. And
well, that's what I said. All the ancillary companies that are connected to the healthcare system did phenomenal also. Yeah. You know.
So that would mean that's why we're seeing so much activity out there, and the restaurants being busy and new cars everywhere. Is that segment of society that was able to cash in, and they did. The Fed even said they injected a ton of money. They injected a ton of money, and it isn't flushed itself out yet. It's still active. Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to give people something to look for, because I'm seeing the same thing as you and Phoebe are seeing, plus one other thing. I'm seeing all of these brand new cars on the road, and I'm seeing a lot of old cars where they're milking them. The paint is not good on the hood anymore. You can see that these are 10, 15 years old, where normally they would have turned them over in 6 or 7 years. People, I think, are holding on to them as long as they can. So I think I'm seeing both. Again, that's kind of the way the economy is. Middle, upper class, and lower, right? And that's I want everybody to tell me if I'm crazy. Start looking at the cars driving around, and you're going to see virtually none of the tweeners in between. You're going to see all the new cars on the road, and you're going to see the ones that are like, they're really trying to get as much out of them as they possibly can.
Yep.
Like over 100,000 miles.
Yeah, and if they're not in the fast food industry or the healthcare industry, they're not making any money. Go flip some burgers, you'll make a fortune, kid. Hey, speaking of fast food, how about a cup of coffee that is mycotoxin free? What a way to start your day, starting off something you're not drinking mold or mycotoxins that are really bad for you. Lance Shuttler, our buddy over at Ascent Nutrition, has got a coffee out there that is really, really good. We really love it. Single origin. He actually knows the family farm that grows it. And he's very particular about what he puts into the packaging and the stuff that he brings. So this coffee is really good. You can get either medium or dark roast. You can get whole bean or ground. And we love it. We think it's a different experience than the commercial coffees that are on the market. It actually tastes very different. And I got addicted to it as soon as I started to have it the first time. And it's like, my gosh, this is so much better. It was like a taste explosion when you had it the first time through. So he's got a lot of supplements as well that are really, really good for you, including pine needle extract, pine pollen extract, not the same thing. There's some things you want to look at berberine, you want to look at humic and fulvic acid. There's just a lot of things you can try out on there. Go to sbgascent.com, SBG Ascent, that's ASCENT.com. Find out more about what Lance has got. We love Lance, and we're going to have him on. I think he'll be on next week. So. Got to hear more from that man.
Jizz.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. I want to talk quickly about what I'm doing. I've got an event coming up. We're calling it Breaking Free from the Matrix, and it's going to be June 14th and 15th. And going to be fun. It's really about retraining your thinking to free yourself of the programming that we've been subjected to growing up. And actually, we were deprogrammed, the way I see it. I think when we came into this life, we were manifesting, we were intuitive, we had all of those skills. And then our parents, our teachers, our friends, our mentors, all of them trained us out of it and said, you're crazy, that stuff doesn't exist. So what we're going to do is give you those skills back, give you access to those skills again, because when you have them, life becomes a lot easier. So this is going to be 2 days. This is June 14th and 15th. It will be a virtual event, so you can attend it from home. No travel necessary. And we'll be opening up registration early next week, probably on Monday. But if you want to be on the list, just send me an email, robert@renegademedia.tv, and we'll give you details as they are released. So looking forward to that, Lewis. I think we're going to have you do a special session, maybe pre-recorded, because I know you'll be traveling. But you have a lot to share in there. So we'll definitely want to have your appearance in that program.
Well, I appreciate it, and I can tell everybody, folks, Robert doesn't talk about it, but if you understood what his background was, he is primed to do this type of teachings and this information, and the results you've got from what I hear are phenomenal. So I would encourage anybody to check it out for sure.
Yeah, thank you for that, Lewis. Yeah, last time I did this course live and in person in an event here in San Diego at a hotel, and you had to travel and you had to come sit in a hotel room for 2 days. The results were phenomenal. I had one fellow midway through signed a $50,000 contract they didn't know even existed. And it was just because you're in that experience of opening up your mind to the possibilities, you can start to see what has been, not visible to you earlier. So we're going to clear away a lot of the fog, and you're going to be able to see things happen in your life. There's a lot of breakthroughs that happen when you're immersion, right? When you're in immersion, immersing yourself. That's the word I'm looking for. You're immersing yourself in this content. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And we'll have the registration open by next week. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to do it. It'll be a blast. All right. So there's a lady called Conservative Mom, and she does these really kind of funny videos. So we're in the WTH section if you want to know. WTF if you're Lewis, WTH if you're me, right? And
if you're Lisa, it's what the fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
She won't say WTF.